my name is Ellie Felber, and this is my 9th year on the Montclair Dolphin swim team. Please consider donating to our annual swimathon, which benefits the Y's Scholarship Fund. It's especially important during these difficult times. Happy and healthy holidays! Go, go, go.
Hey everybody, my name is Leo Powers and I've been a swimmer on the Dolphins for 7 years. We're having a swimathon to raise money for a scholarship fund and we were hoping you could donate in the Thanksgiving spirit.
Good evening, and welcome to the 2021 annual meeting of the YMCA of Montclair. My name is Izumi Hara, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the chair of your board of directors. Thank you for joining us to hear about what's been happening at the Y. We want you to know how much we appreciate how you love and support our community through the Y. The Y has touched each of our lives in different ways, but we all share a common vision, a Y that allows individuals, families, and the community to grow better and stronger by developing spirit, mind, and body, and making sure that these opportunities are available to all of our neighbors. In a few moments, Buddy Evans, our president and CEO, will be reporting on 2020, a year like no other. And as we move onward from that unimaginably challenging year, he will be sharing our vision for 2021 and beyond. The Y was projecting 2020 to be a breakout year of significant revenue and programming growth, technological improvement, and time to repair some of our aging infrastructure at Camp at the Lake and Park Street. Instead, we had our first member case of COVID-19 on March 12th, and on March 13, we closed our doors to protect member and staff safety. Our revenue stream, which is program and membership based, slowed to a bare trickle. Our hearts broke as we furloughed over 95% of our staff in April of 2020. But we also recognized that the Y had a great deal of work to do, and that even though we were not open for fitness or providing childcare in the schools or swim classes, there were dire needs in the community, and that the Y was in a position to address them. And now, 1 year later, we are coming back. Our doors are open, capacity is growing for activities at Park Street. We are expanding our early learning center for our youngest members, and camp registrations for summer 2021 are nearly at capacity. We continue to support our learning enrichment community, school-age childcare with remote learning assistance, and address food insecurity among our seniors. Both of those programs were initiated to address issues arising out of or exacerbated by the pandemic. I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to recognize the incredible hard work of our staff during 2020. Opening childcare at Geyer for children of essential health workers, summer day camp, outside fitness classes, Park Street at reduced capacity, the learning enrichment community, all of these programs took a huge amount of learning, planning, establishment of procedures, training of staff, and even some construction. None of what we are doing would be possible but for the incredible hard work, initiative, creativity, and dedication of the Y staff. I'd like to pivot for a moment to our wonderful board. 23 passionate, dedicated, deeply committed volunteers help to guide the direction of our Y. We are so lucky to have not only their enthusiasm, but their professional expertise, perspective, and guidance. As of this meeting, we are losing 4 valued board members, 2 because they've completed their terms, and 2 have resigned because they're moving away. They are all in attendance this evening, and I'd like to recognize them. I have to confess that I'm a bit of a Shirley Lewis groupie. She's been groundbreaking and ceiling shattering literally since childhood. Before she moved to Montclair, Shirley served for 13 years as the first female president of Payne College, an historically Black college in Augusta, Georgia. I think Shirley is the only one of our directors who generates an encyclopedia entry first when you Google her name. I encourage all of you to Google Shirley A.R. Lewis and read about her, and you will better understand just how lucky we were to have Shirley serve on the board of the Y for 6 years. I wish I could tell you all about Shirley right now, but Buddy made me promise we wouldn't keep you all night. Even before she joined the board, Shirley was a presence at the Y. A Zumba regular, she chaired the Y's annual member campaign with much success. Shirley has also been the driving force behind the planning of the Y's programming commemorating Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Black History Month for many years. She has served on the Y's Education Committee since its inception in 2020, the Y's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee since its inception in 2019. And although her board service is ending, we are so fortunate that Shirley will remain involved with special program planning at the Y and will continue serving on the DEI committee. I've appreciated Shirley's wise counsel over the years, and hope to continue to be the recipient of her wisdom. I have learned much from her and so admire what she has done in her life so far. We are thrilled that Shirley will continue her involvement with the mission of the Y. Alicia Robinson grew up in Montclair, and after going to boarding school and college in Massachusetts, she came back to Montclair and started her career in banking. For the last 12 years, she has been a branch manager with Investors Bank and has helped the Y cultivate a great relationship with both the bank and the Investors Bank Foundation, both strong supporters of the Y. It was Investors Bank that recommended that the Y take out a PPP loan during the pandemic, and that turned out to be a game changer for us, ensuring that we could continue to serve the community despite the financial challenges brought by the pandemic. When Buddy joined us in 2018, Alicia made a point of making sure that Buddy met all the local business owners and many others in our community and invited him to join the Rotary Club, ensuring Buddy's smooth entry into the Montclair area and his office at the Y. Alicia has served on the board of the Y for the last 6 years. She served on the Finance Committee, the Audit Committee, and the Nominating and Governance Committee. We are so grateful for her voice and guidance on the Finance Committee during the most challenging and uncertain of times, as well as some of our best times. It's hard to understate how important the work of the Nominating and Governance Committee has been to shaping our incredible, engaged, and hardworking board, and I thank Alicia for being an important part of that. I've so appreciated Alicia's advice, perspective, and support as we considered various projects and challenges. And I've also enjoyed her great sense of humor and ability to enliven a crowd. We will miss you on the board, but we know where to find you, and we hope that we'll see you around the Y. The entire Lagasse family, Dave, his wife Jen, and his sons Max and Sam, are exercise enthusiasts and have been faithful members of the Y for nearly 17 years. Dave has been named one of the best lawyers in America practicing employment law and has been included on the list of New York's super lawyers every year for the last 10 years. He has represented the YMCA of Greater New York, the largest Y in the country in employment law matters. But Dave loves our community and in his precious spare time, committed himself to the Scouts BSA as a Scoutmaster for many years, and for the last 5 years has served on the board of this Y and chaired the Human Resources Committee of the board, which made great strides guiding management during his tenure to modernize our employment policies and procedures and evolve with the changing environment. He also served on the Nominating and Governance Committee, which, as I mentioned earlier, has worked hard to develop an incredible board. I've always valued Dave's candor, good and practical counsel, and support in both good times and challenging times. Recently, joining his dedication to the Scouts with his passion for the work of the Y, he encouraged his son Sam, who was thinking about creating a sensory room at the Y as his Eagle Scout project. A sensory room is a therapeutic space with different types of equipment that provides children with special needs with an immersive sensory experience and can reduce anxiety and calm and focus them. Sam wanted children who are autistic, like his older brother Max, to have a sensory room easily accessible in our community. The Y's sensory room can be found at Park Street in the old meeting room on the first floor. David has moved to Virginia, where Jen and Max have started a flower farm. We will miss you and wish you well as you settle into Bedford, Virginia as your new permanent residence. The Bedford Y probably doesn't even know yet how lucky they will be to have you, Jen, Max, and Sam. Life happens and then things change. When Steve Bloomstein was elected to the board in October 2018, he had 2 children, Ben and Samantha, at Montclair High School. Now his youngest, Samantha, is about to join her brother at the University of Michigan, leaving behind an empty nest and an opportunity for Steve and his wife, Joanne, to enjoy the clean mountain air of the Poconos. Steve has spent much of his career in IT strategy and consulting and executive management of companies providing technological solutions to companies large and small. He currently is the Chief Operating Officer of Starfish Associates, a global software company providing communications management solutions. During his board service, Steve served on the Finance Committee and the Strategic Planning Committee. Nearly half his tenure on the board was during the pandemic, so I feel like I haven't been able to get to know Steve and his family very well. But relative to the length of his service, Steve has made an outsized impact on the Y. Thoughtful and engaged, Steve challenged us all to think carefully through our strategic plan as it began to take shape, to ensure that our plans would create a sustainable, relevant, and impactful organization into the future. During the last 14 months, being on the Finance Committee was challenging as we were in unfamiliar territory, but Steve's thoughtful comments and questions at Finance Committee and board meetings helped guide management and kept the board informed of where we were going at an uncertain time. Like many nonprofits, creating a workable IT infrastructure has been a challenge for the Y for many years, and we are so lucky to have Steve's guidance as part of an ad hoc committee looking for an enterprise software system that can more efficiently pull our applications together and create an attractive and user-friendly experience for members and staff alike. Steve, we will miss you, but we don't doubt that you and Joanne will be just as engaged in your new community. So with much affection and gratitude, we were pleased to present gifts to each of our departing directors for years of dedicated service to the Y and to the community. We also have the great fortune of recruiting 3 outstanding directors who begin their terms today. A little later, Jack Pitts, the chair of our Nominating and Governance Committee, will introduce our new board members. And now it's with great pleasure that I introduce Buddy Evans, President and CEO of the YMCA of Montclair, to provide us with a more detailed look at the accomplishments, challenges, and opportunities of 2020 and beyond.
Thank you, Izumi, and hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Our annual meeting is a time when we reflect on the past year and provide an update for what is happening at our YMCA. 2020 was an incredibly challenging time for our Y and our community, but we also have many reasons to be thankful. We are thankful for our members who stayed with us. We are so appreciative for our staff that delivered on our mission, and we're so grateful for all the donors that supported us through this trying time. Tonight, we honor all of you in appreciation and gratitude for your philanthropic efforts. Before we share how our Y was able to leverage the aid of our supporters in better service to our community, I invite you to join me in a moment of silence to remember those we have lost during this pandemic. Thank you. In so many ways, 2020 was unlike any other year in our Y's 130-year history. We closed our membership doors on March 13th, but thanks to the incredibly generous support of our donors, we were able to pivot and provide critical services to our community. Last year, we provided nourishment for hundreds of our neighbors during weekly food drives, distributing over 113,000 pounds of fresh produce and groceries. We partnered with the American Red Cross and hosted drives to address severe blood shortages. We cared for 42 children of essential workers when schools closed last spring, and we held a modified summer camp for 250 children. Even during the pandemic, our Y achieved some significant milestones. We opened our early learning center at the Geyer Family YMCA, serving children 3 months to 4 years of age. As our state continues to restart the economy and address equity issues within the education system, we are so pleased to have launched the ELC last summer to help working parents with much needed childcare and to provide every child the equal opportunity for quality preschool education. Today, we have 39 full-time children attending and expect to expand our enrollment significantly throughout 2021. In response to the schools going virtual, we opened our Learning Enrichment Community, around the Y, better known as the LEC, for children kindergarten through 8th grade. In a safe, nurturing, and supportive environment, students learn in pods while our staff help children navigate the difficulties associated with remote learning. In addition, children were able to engage with other kids their own age, participate in our WISE enrichment program, and get outside to play in the fresh air. Thanks to the support from a few key donors, we were able to upgrade our technology capabilities at Guyer and provide a scholarship to any child that needed one. This unique program has served over 155 local children during this school year. We were so glad to welcome back our Dolphin swim team last summer, even when our Park Street facility remained closed. Through a great partnership with the Montclair Beach Club, we were able to hold practices while maintaining small group and distancing requirements. In September, we were able to reopen our Park Street Y to members in accordance with local and state guidance. We were thrilled to welcome our members back into the building, keeping the health and safety of them and our staff top priority. To ensure we were maintaining capacity limits, social distancing, and implementing health screenings, we made several noteworthy upgrades at our Y. We introduced a new scheduling system called Motion Vibe, so members could reserve their space in their workout areas, group exercise classes, and in a very popular pool. We renovated our lower lobby, giving us one centralized access point so we could safely and efficiently assess everyone entering the building with temperature checks and screening questions. We also rearranged our fitness equipment to allow for ample distancing throughout our facility. If you've not been back to our Y, please come check it out. We miss you, and we are currently offering a free 1-week pass for you to come and see the changes. At the Y, we always value our members' feedback. But now, maybe more than ever, we would love to hear from you. Please let us know how we're doing, what you think of our changes, what else you would like to see us do, and how we can better serve you. We received these 3 messages recently from an ELC parent, a camp parent, and a senior member who was enjoying the outdoor classes. I share them with you because these comments mean so much to our staff, especially this year. So please keep them coming. As we move forward into 2021, we are very enthusiastic and optimistic about what is happening at our Y. The first exciting development I'd like to share is that we are building an all-inclusive, creative playground at the Guyer Family YMCA. This is a project we started prior to the pandemic, and thanks to the incredible generosity of so many in our community, we will break ground later this month. I would like to especially thank the generous donors seen here. It would not have been possible without them. We anticipate the playground to be open in September, just in time for the new school year. We are also very excited for the upcoming summer camp season. This year, we are hosting 3 camps. Camp at the Lake in West Milford, New Adventures at Guyer, and New Discoveries at the Community Pre-K. Camps will serve children aged 3 to 14, and we will continue to adhere to the COVID protocols we developed last year. We are thrilled to be welcoming back over 1,000 campers this summer. Last, I want to share that this is a year about more than recovering from COVID from the pandemic for our Y. We are committed to rebuilding and reimagining our services to address our community's most pressing needs. We plan to expand our senior programming, teen offerings, and we are committed to making much needed upgrades to our 32-acre outdoor education center in West Milford. We have learned through this pandemic how important it is for our youth and our families to have a place to enjoy time together, especially in the outdoors. We know that our health, both physical and mental, is improved by the opportunity to be active in the fresh air. We have some exciting plans on the horizon for our property in West Milford, and you will be hearing a lot more on this effort throughout the year. It is now my pleasure to introduce Jack Pitts, Chairman of our board's Nominating and Governance Committee, to introduce our YMCA's newest board members. Jack?
Thank you, Buddy, and good evening. My name is Jack Pitts, and as Chair of the Nominating and Governance Committee, I have the honor and privilege of introducing you all to our newest board members. First, Dr. Wartina Davis, who is the Dean of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences at William Patterson University. Prior to becoming Dean, Dr. Davis served as Associate Dean of the college from 2011 to 2019. She joined the William Patterson community in 1998 as Assistant Professor of Political Science and would go on to serve as Chair of the Political Science Department for 7 years. In 2013, Dr. Davis made the leap into public service and was elected to serve as Councilwoman at Large for the Township of Bloomfield, New Jersey. She is a mother of 14-year-old twins, an active member of school parent organizations, and her church, First Congregational Church of Montclair, United Church of Christ, serves on her twins swim team board and is also a swim official. Next, we have Susan Mazo, Senior Vice President of the Global Communications for the Universal Music Group, where she oversees the company's major internal and external events, special projects, and global philanthropic efforts. Prior to UMG, Susan served as Senior Vice President of Communications and Marketing at Warner Music, and has also held various positions at Billboard Magazine, Westwood One, and KSA Public Relations. Susan lives in Montclair with her husband and 2 children, is a Dolphin mom, served on the Little Kids Rock Advisory Board, and is also involved with the Montclair Baseball and Softball Club. Last but not least, we have Elizabeth Perez, Vice President, Corporate Initiatives and Institutional Giving at Girl Scouts USA, where she has built a team to support all corporate, foundation, and government giving at the Girl Scouts. Immediately prior to joining the Girl Scouts, she led customer relations marketing for an online drugstore at Express Scripts, where she developed and implemented strategies for engaging and retaining customers. Liz previously sat on the boards of Newark Family Resource Center and the Boys and Girls Club of New Jersey, and is actively involved in multiple fronts at St. Luke's Episcopal Church. All 3 of Liz's children grew up going to the YMCA of Montclair, where they learned to swim and attended YMCA camps and leadership program. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Davis, Susan Mazo, and Liz Perez to our board. We look forward to working with each of them further to further the Y's mission. I will now hand it over to our Vice President of Operations, Ann Margaret Gutierrez, for the next portion of our program. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. It is my pleasure to announce this year's Dawn McFadden Leadership Award. But before I do that, I would like to acknowledge Dawn McFadden, for whom this award is named. Dawn, I know you out there tonight. We are happy you're able to join us and so grateful for your continued support of the Y. Now, this award honors an employee for their work in 2020, which amplifies leadership, devotion to our mission, and significant achievement in advancing the YMCA of Montclair. The criteria for this award is an employee who goes above and beyond their scope of work through actions and words, maintains a positive relationship with our members and staff, their performance positively impacts the community that we serve, their contribution is constantly aligned with the mission, and they exemplify our YMCA values, shows dedication, possess leadership qualities, inspires others, and takes pride in the Y. This year's recipient, professionalism and enthusiasm embodies the Y's mission and its values. He always greets everyone with a smile and is looked up by so many as a role model. In 2020, our Y transitioned to running emergency childcare, and he was there daily from 6:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. He helped create a social environment for kids when they needed it the most. Whether it was helping with homework, playing games, or leading sports with them, he was constantly proving to be an asset to our organization. In June of 2020, he helped create a new adventures camp and led all our outdoors activities at the Park Street camp location. Without complaint or hesitation, he transitioned to Park Street in the fall and helped wherever he was needed. This included in membership, fitness, aquatics, youth sports, as well as leading pods at private home locations in the community. For this reason listed, as well as countless others, this employee is more than deserving of the Dawn McFadden Leadership Award. This year's recipient is
that Coach Marlon has been awarded the Dawn McFadden Leadership Award for our YMCA. I just want to say on behalf of everybody here, the leadership that you showed, especially last year during the pandemic, and the caring attitude, and the way that you came to work every single day with a big smile on your face. You made it some normal times for the children that you worked with, the way you ran your summer camp, you did the virtual learning. We just absolutely beyond belief, and we want to thank you, and I can't be more proud of the work that you did, and we're so excited to present you with this, and we're going to present it to you again at our annual meeting on Wednesday night. So congratulations, Mark.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much for recognizing me for this. I appreciate it. Hope I can be here for another 20 years. I really appreciate all the work I've done here with the kids, and I enjoy doing what I'm doing. Thank you again.
Great. Everybody, one more time. So I want to congratulate again on the 20th year as well. Coach Marlon is our Dawn McFadden Leadership Award winner for YMCA of Montclair. So way, Coach Marlon.
Congratulations, Marlon. We know you're out there. We are so happy for you, and we're looking forward to another 20 years. And now I'll turn it over to Annika Demaras, our Chief Development Officer. Annika?
Thanks, Anne Margaret, and congratulations, Marlon. At the Y, we think about our impact in three main areas: youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. And we wanted to take a moment to show you what you, our supporters, have made possible since the start of the pandemic. At a time when families were struggling with job uncertainties, learning loss, technology gaps, and equity issues, our Y stood up and provided services to address these critical needs, never turning anyone away for their inability to pay, which we were only able to do because of the generosity of so many donors.
The core of the Y's work is serving children and families. Thanks to supporters like you, we were able to provide over $90,000 in youth scholarships in 2020 to help families struggling from the pandemic. This year, as we reopen and expand our programming, with your help, we will provide over $120,000 in youth scholarships alone.
We know that for our members, building their health is more important than ever, and the Y has adapted to meet members' needs by offering virtual classes and chronic disease programming, outdoor classes, and dedicated time for seniors to come to the Y, and by making significant health upgrades to make returning to the Y as safe as possible.
No one suffered more during this pandemic than our seniors. There were a disproportionate number of deaths and hospitalizations among our most vulnerable population. In addition, fear led to isolation, and our Y searched for ways to stay connected to our most tenured members. We began virtual programs, wellness check-in calls, and opened dedicated times in our facility for our seniors. Again, all of this was made possible by our donors who invested in our Y, knowing we would give them an impactful return on their financial contributions. I am also very thankful for our donors that supported our diversity, equity, and inclusion work. Not only is our community in the midst of a health pandemic, we're also dealing with social justice and equity issues. Under the guidance of our DEI committee, our Y brought the community together for 6 Brave Space community dialogues that help people heal emotionally, learn intellectually, and understand with an empathetic ear. We are very proud of the work our Y has done over this past year and know this was all made possible due to the support of our donors. However, our work is far from over. Our mission calls us to a greater purpose, and that is why I thank all of you for your continued support of our YMCA. I now would like to turn this meeting back over to Izumi Hara, our Chief Volunteer Officer and a passionate donor to our YMCA of Montclair. Izumi?
Thank you again for your support of the Y and all of its programs. Because of you, when the pandemic hit, we were able to address immediate needs in the community. Those things Buddy mentioned, including childcare for essential health workers, food distribution, PPE distribution to healthcare providers, the LEC, our school-age childcare with remote learning assistance, and the list goes on. All of those initiatives took a huge amount of learning, planning, establishment of procedures, training of staff, and even construction. But we got it done to the benefit of our community because of you. And now, although it seems that we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic continue, and we need your help more than ever, as our program and membership revenues have not recovered completely, and the need for maintaining accessibility to the Y's programs is greater than ever. I want to give a special thanks to those who have made gifts to the Y in 2020 and to the 292 families who joined the Stay With Us campaign by donating their membership fees while we were closed. We don't ordinarily make an appeal at the annual meeting. It is a time to celebrate our accomplishments and recognize our staff and volunteers. But this is no ordinary time. You can support the Y by making a donation on our website. Your donation will ensure that any child who is in need of childcare can come to the Y. Anyone who wants to get back in shape after months of hanging around the house can, and will help the Y continue to serve the community now and in the years to come. If you have any questions about making a donation, please contact us. Thank you again for attending the annual meeting. We treasure your support and share your love of our community. We thank you for making our work possible. Stay well and good night.